Welcome to Well Fucked Wife, the podcast. I am Dr. Chelsea Page, licensed sex and relationship therapist, international sex mentor and expert, helping you become healthy, wealthy, well-loved, and well-fucked. This episode of the Well Fucked Wife podcast is brought to you by sexlikediamonds.com. My online pleasure boutique that I co-own with my fabulous mother, where you get to find amazing, luxurious lingerie pieces and delicious sex toys to support you on your well-fucked wife journey. Head on over to sexlikediamonds.com to shop now. Hello, beautiful well-fucked wife. Let's talk about today about where I see a lot of women self-abandon in their relationship and how it's causing the complete opposite of what you're actually wanting in your relationship with your man. And for the women in my world, we want to be romanced, we want to be adored, we want to be ravished, we want to be so cherished, we want our man to take the lead, we want our man to pick what's for dinner tonight rather than being like those vultures from the Jungle Book, like, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? It's like, we want a man who's like, this is where we're going. I know you're going to like this. Like, get in the car with your sexy booty. Like, we want a man who takes charge, a man who leads, a man who holds us and supports us and loves us and penetrates us and all the different things. But your self-abandonment is actually causing a reality in your relationship that is the complete opposite of what you're wanting. And before you stop listening, a lot of women are going to say, well, I don't self-abandon. Like, I'm not a people pleaser. Like, I don't, like, I know my power. Like, I'm a powerful fucking woman. Like, you are. And there's going to be subtle micro ways that you're still self-abandoning. So we're going to be, the spectrum of the women in my world are going to be anywhere from, people pleaser, coming out of the woodworks, like, this is like me, like, out of my past relationship, mega people pleaser, looking in the mirror going like, I have no idea who the fuck I am. I have no idea what I want. I have no idea what my needs are. I have no idea. I just want to be happy and be in a happy relationship. Like, it's that simple of this place, this desire that's here. And being at the beginning of that journey, all the way to the point where a lot of women in my world, especially in my VIP days or in the Well Fucked Wives Club, in my one-on-one, is we're going so deep into these places where there are still threads of self-abandonment that's coming up that are preventing you from going to the next level of love, the next level of intimacy, the next level of pleasure that you are craving. And so we want to be open to just that curiosity of, where am I still harboring some of the codes from the blueprint of my survival identity? And our survival identity is going to be based in what we used to do when we, needed to survive as a munchkin. We either go into fight mode, flight mode, freeze mode, or fawn mode. And I'm a big freeze, fawn, and flee person. And when we notice still old codes that are still kind of hanging out in the hardware system, we get to clear those out. And I want to point out one of the ways in which I see a lot of women still in that self-abandonment and then is cock blocking their man energetically, emotionally, physically, when you actually are really craving to be penetrated in all the ways. And one of the ways this shows up is we'll focus on what our man does in these small micro ways where he's just missing what we're exactly wanting. For example, say he leans in and kisses you and he pulls away a second or two sooner than what you would have preferred. And you would want a little bit longer of a kiss, but he pulled away a little bit sooner. That moment, that gap between what you were truly craving and what he actually provided, when we focus on that gap between, then we're focusing on the lack, and then we activate and feed into our self-abandonment system. And I'll go deeper into this in just a moment. I'll give you another example. Maybe you're laying in bed, you're reading a book, and your husband comes in, and after, I don't know, whatever, he comes in later because he's more of a night owl. So he's coming later, and he comes into the room, and you look up, and he doesn't give you eye contact right away. And maybe he comes in the room and he, takes off his clothes and he's crawling into bed, and he still hasn't acknowledged you in the way you wanted to be acknowledged. And in that moment, again, this space between of what I wanted for him was to look me in the eye. What I wanted for him was to come over and give me a big smoochy sloppy kiss for at least 11 seconds. But if he does 10, now I'm already upset, right? We're expecting our man to meet us almost in a state of perfection. And when they miss it in these micro ways, then what happens is our body gets activated in a way that goes, we're going to go either into, I call it the like simple activation of either an ouch or an uh-oh. And at this point, there's going to be this like ouch. Like, ouch. He didn't kiss me longer for the 11 seconds that I wanted. Ouch. He didn't look me in the eye exactly when I wanted him to. Ouch. He didn't, whatever it might be. And so we get these little pings to our nervous system, these little ouches. And I call them little because in those moments, they are these little micro places where you're not feeling met. And so there's an ouch. And even as I am recording this, my body, as I'm saying that, is then starting to contract. I can already feel, like, literally physically, my body starts to go, my shoulders kind of hunch in, and I'm like getting smaller. My body is contracting in. So that, like, ouch, he's not seeing me, right? And then our mind, this is what happens. Our body's going to have an experience, and we're going to have emotion around it. And our mind is going to put a story. Oh, he doesn't want me. He doesn't love me. He doesn't cherish me. I'm invisible. I don't matter. Whatever the mind story, the mind fuckery that gets in the way, that is the complete opposite of the mind of a well-fucked wife, starts to come in. And it reinforces that belief system that is so sourced in the old blueprint of your identity, your old survival identity that says, I'm not enough. I don't matter. I'm not important. I'm unlovable. I'm whatever it is, the I am statement. So those micro moments where you're not met pings your system. Ouch. We got meaning. There's a pain. Meaning. Well, I don't matter. And then our bodies are going to contract, right? And it happens often very fast and very subtle. Our body is going to contract. Our hearts close down a bit more. We close ourselves off because we're feeling rejected. We're feeling not met. We're feeling not penetrated in the way that we're specifically exactly needing to be penetrated to prove that our man loves us, to prove that we are enough, to prove that not all men are bad, to prove that we are lovable, whatever it is that needs to be proved. And what happens is then we're shutting down. And again, it might not be a full-on shutdown, but if you have enough of these micro moments stack, sometimes we like tip over the edge and then it's like whoosh, like full shutdown, full close off. Like, and not close off in the way that we want them to come off, but like closing ourselves off, right? And so our heart closes off a bit more. We go into more protection mode. Our body contracts, and our feminine magnetism gets diluted. It gets eclipsed over by the closing off and closing down of our body and our heart. And then What kind of signal does that send to our man? Being closed off. Well, he's not going to be able to feel the invitation of our feminine magnetism to then want to move closer to us and penetrate us more. We're going to be closed off to a point where, and this is what happens for a lot of women, they get mad that their man isn't showing up more into the way that they want to. But the space that your body and your heart is holding open for him to penetrate is so small that he doesn't even have a fighting chance. It's like, oh, he cannot. If you want a man with a big dick energy, meaning he's got the masculine energy, you can't hold open a very small opening for him to penetrate. You need to be open wide and open wide long enough for him to penetrate you and come inside. Like literally, physically, sexually, and also energetically and emotionally. But when your mind is so hypervigilant and your body is so hypervigilant to all these micro places where he's not meeting you, to feed the wounded belief from your old self that says, see, I don't matter. Here's another moment. See, he didn't meet me for that one extra second with the kiss. I don't matter. Close off. Closing myself down, shutting myself down, protecting my heart, protecting my body. When we are protecting ourselves, we cannot be simultaneously penetrated to the level at which we desire to be penetrated, physically, emotionally, energetically. We can't live in both realms. It's like trying to have hot and cold at the same time. No, 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 no. So we got to choose. And this is where the cycle then repeats itself, right? We're scanning. We see these micro moments where we're not being met. Oh, here's another one. Oh, here's another one. Oh, here's another one. And we're hunting. It's like this part of us is hunting down all these places where he is missing yet again. So not only are you then closing yourself off, closing the door, right? Closing it another inch, closing it another inch, closing it another inch. So your magnetism is no longer accessible. He can't feel it. He can't feel the invitation of your feminine energy. And every time he misses, and a lot of women will let their husband know that they've missed it, whether shame or blame or anger or just, huffing and puffing, right? Or, in that example with, in bed where you're in bed already and he comes into bed later and he hasn't, given you eye contact or maybe acknowledged you fully yet because he's like on a mission to just get into bed and take off his clothes. By that point, within literally the 60 seconds that he's walked into the room and he's gotten into bed, you've already closed yourself off. And your signal that you're sending from your body is get the fuck away from me. Like, not available, not available, not available. So what is he going to do? All right, he's going to like pull out his phone because, all right, I guess like, in businesses where they have the neon open and closed sign, your sign isn't open, it's closed. And so he's reading that signal, even if you haven't said anything, even if you haven't even looked at him, vice versa, he feels the energy. And your energy says, I'm closed. So he's like, okay. And he's going to respond accordingly. Then reinforcing, see, I don't matter. I told myself so. We love proving ourselves right. We have to be careful in which direction we prove ourselves right. Do we want to prove ourselves right through our wounded lens, or do we want to prove ourselves right through the well-fucked wife lens, our power? And so then we're closing down, and then he can't feel you, while also simultaneously it's pinging inside of him of feeling not enough, especially if we let him know that he keeps fucking up and keeps missing over and over and over again because he's like 1 second off from what we were needing and wanting. And then he's going to feel not enough, not enough, not enough, which is then also going to cause him to withdraw even more. So not only is your energy pushing him away, but then his not enough wound is going to pull him away, which then means you're going to be less ravished, less romance, less adored, feeling less loved. Your body's closed off, so he doesn't even have anywhere to penetrate, even if he wanted to. And then the cycle repeats itself. And this is all a self-abandonment cycle because It is sourced from the part of you that fully doesn't believe you are lovable, you are important, you matter, you are powerful, you are enough, whatever the opposite of that wounded belief is. Even believing you're not enough is an abandonment of yourself. Believing you're not lovable is abandonment of yourself. Believing that you're not wanted is an abandonment of yourself. You believe that to be true. You scan the environment for that truth. Your husband reinforces the truth of that because you picked out the microsecond that he didn't show up. And so he doesn't even have a chance. And then you proved yourself, see? And then you close yourself off. You disassociate from your body. You leave your body. You feel rejected, so you reject yourself. And then you abandon your pleasure. You abandon your power. You abandon your heart. Lather, rinse, repeat. And so that cycle, do you think you're going to be a well-fucked wife when that is in motion? No. Ask me how I know. And for the women I've worked with, doesn't work. And so what we do in my world is we shift these patterns, we shift the blueprint, we shift the source from which you are operating from, your intimacy identity that is rooted in your power, your knowing of your worth, your knowing of the naked truth of who you are. And from there, now you're looking at the world through a different lens. I know people say, don't look at the world through rose-colored glasses, but that is kind of what it is when you're looking at the world through your power. And so when you're believing that you are enough, that you are lovable, that you are worthy, that you are so fucking delicious, then that's going to change how you interact with your husband, how you think about your husband, how you respond in those moments that are, instead of you closing down and abandoning yourself and abandoning the connection between you and your husband, you stay open. You stay in the state of being what I call being naked. You don't need to protect yourself from the micro moment that your husband pulled away from a kiss 1 or 2 seconds sooner than you wanted to. Now, disclaimer, this does not apply to abusive relationships, chronic emotional neglect, abuse, all those pieces. That is a whole different conversation. And so I just want to disclaimer that. If you are now in big, big ways, chronically not met, that is still a form of self-abandonment, but at a much other deeper conversation. So make sure you get really deep, deep therapy support for that. I digress, but very important to do so. Disclaimer. But what we want in being a well-fucked wife is remaining open, even in the moments that we are not met by our man. Really? That's what it all comes down to in the work that I do. Even starting with House of Pleasure, my free community, going into the Naked Experience, the Well-Fucked Wives Club, my VIP days, one-on-one coaching, all the places, all the delicious ways to be in the well-fucked wife world. It comes down to this. Can I stay open? And can I move in my naked truth, even if I am not met there? And even if I'm not met there immediately? And this is something that even personally has been tricky for me, because I'm in this beautiful constant growth and evolution in my life. And even in our relationship, it's one of our core values. I've probably mentioned it before and I'll mention it again. Having this beautiful connection to the value of growth in our relationship. And so when there is constant growth, then there's going to be a shift in needs, desires, how we're wanting to be met. And we've got to give our husband a minute or longer to actually meet us in this new space. It is, and if we apply it into the attachment world, is a very linked into the anxious attachment. It's like, ooh, I ran a mile and I need you to all of a sudden teleport to this mile marker that I'm now at. but your husband is human. He is living in the 3D world. And just because you're at this new mile marker, it's going to take him a little bit to meet you at that mile marker. Can you stay open to maintain the strong feminine signal to invite him to meet you and not making him wrong that he hasn't met you yet, not making yourself wrong because you haven't been met yet? Instead, you say open in the pleasure of your own existence, playing in this beautiful, this is what naked living is. It's like, oh my gosh, let me be all naked and free and in my power and my pleasure and my sovereignty. This is so fucking delicious. And I trust I'm going to be met here. And I'm going to trust that I don't need to be met here in the second that I'm now here. Instead, I get to play in my own delicious, beautiful, naked frequency and the pleasure of my life, like loving all up on myself, doing my thing, and knowing and trusting that my man is going to meet me here. And it doesn't have to be now in this moment, because that would mean I'm attaching my sense of worth and safety to him meeting me here right now in this moment, in this second. Instead, it's like, I'm going to give my husband the benefit of being human and knowing there's going to be some reorganization in his own body and field and mind and pattern and blueprint to be able to meet you in this higher, elevated, expanded way of being. And this is at a core piece of this well-fucked wife journey, is as you are moving and grooving and shifting timelines, because you're shifting your blueprint and the pattern in which you've operated from and the identity in which you've operated from, we have to give our man a minute to catch up. And in my experience, and I always have to remind myself of this, is my husband, often he'll not only catch up, but he'll like leapfrog over me because he's got so much momentum behind him. And then I'm like, oh, wait, wait for me. I got little legs. And then we're just playing this beautiful leapfrog growth game, and it's just super fun, and we get to connect in the growth, knowing that we don't have to be at the exact same place at the exact same time in the exact same moment to feel connected, to feel loved, to feel safe. That is anxious attachment, and that is then rooted in abandonment. And so, with all this being said, I want you to pay attention in your world, in your relationship, of where you are hyper focused on all the little ways your man is missing, all the ways he's fucking up, all the ways that he is not meeting you. And a very simple shift, this is not the only answer, but a very simple and powerful shift that you can already start implementing today is, I'm going to focus on where he is meeting me. I'm going to focus on and appreciate him where he is meeting me. I'm going to receive him fully to the depth at which he is penetrating me now, rather than focusing on the more there is still to go. I'm going to focus on what is already here, what is already present. Instead of focusing on, right, you wanted an 11-second kiss and he pulled away 2 seconds early, instead of focusing on those 2 seconds that you didn't get, can you focus on the 8? No, 8, 9, 10, 11. The 9? This is why I don't do math. Can you focus on the 9 seconds that you actually did receive? When you focus on those 9 seconds that you actually did receive and breathe it in and let your body feel it, let yourself be penetrated by his presence and what he is providing and where he is cherishing you, where he is already ravishing you, where he is already showing up and providing for you, meeting you, loving you, where he's already meeting you. Tune your signal to that and let it in. And what's that going to activate? Because when you let it in, You are now opening up your body. You are now in this place of, instead of abandonment, you're in the field of appreciation. And you can even say words of appreciation to your man, but he's going to feel it because he's going to feel the energy of you receiving him, and the sound you might make, just the bliss that's emanating from your body, even in micro ways. He's going to pick it up and he's going to like it. And he's going to want to give you more, because a man is going to want to give more. A masculine man is going to want to give more to the woman who receives him, because it feels good. It's like, oh, you receive me. I'm going to give you more to receive, because it feels good when you receive me, and then you receive and you feel good. And then now we're both feeling good. And oh, fuck, that feels so delicious. Boom. Well, fucked wife. But if you're closed off and he's not being received, and that feels really shitty, and then it's just all crumbles and you're closed off and you're feeling abandoned and you're feeling not worthy and he's not feeling enough, and it's just like this whole drama. And it's not going to create a field of desire and a field of romance and a field of love and pleasure, right? This is that masculine and feminine dance that gets to come through. And so receive your man and the ways that he is showing up. And the masculine man will meet you there. But we open up more so he can penetrate you more. And you open wider so he can meet you deeper. That's intimacy. But a masculine man isn't going to force his way into your world. That's like energetic rape. He's not going to do that. He needs permission first. He needs consent. And you closing off your body and closing off your heart signals, I do not consent to you penetrating me, for you coming closer, you meeting me. I'm not letting your love in, because I don't feel worthy of it, because I feel not enough, because I'm not lovable, because whatever the wounded belief comes in. But that woman that knows, the well-fucked wife that knows, I am powerful, I am lovable, I am enough, I am worthy, I am abundance, I am love, I am pleasure. Then you receive the match for that. He will meet you there. And the thought that comes in for some women is, well, what if he doesn't? What if I make these shifts and I stop abandoning myself and I open myself and I stay naked rather than covering myself all back up again? If I actually am in my naked truth and allowing his love to meet me and his masculine energy to penetrate me, and he truly doesn't, then the woman who no longer abandons herself will know the next move is, that is not my man. And at that point, you're going to be unapologetically moving forward from that. But the woman you may be right now is like, no, I can't lose him. But you self-abandon yourself in order to keep him. That's not the type of love we want to be maintaining. That does not a well-fucked wife make. We want a man who wants to fuck us in our naked truth. We want a man who wants to penetrate us and love us and provide for us and support us and ravish us and romance us in our full power, our full feminine power and magnetism. We got to give him some time to meet us there. And if your husband is like my husband, he always meets you there. He just needs a little bit of time. But he's not going to meet you there if you micromanage his every move of where he still has some steps to catch up on. He's at mile marker, like half a mile, and you're waiting at the mile being like, where the fuck are you? It's like, well, he's not going to want to meet you at the mile marker because now you're just all angry at him. Instead, if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm excited to receive you. It's going to feel so good. I'm staying open and I'm just going to play in my power and my pleasure in this present moment and the magic of who I am. I'm going to stay naked. I'm going to live my life naked. And I trust and know and have full confidence that my man will meet me there because I am meeting myself there. And that is the mirror that then reflects out to the man that you welcome in, and the masculine in your man right now that then gets also welcomed into your world. The more we are in our open feminine energy, the more it invites his masculine to come out and play because there's actually space for him to do so. Again, if you only have like a little teeny keyhole for him to penetrate and to pour his love into, and then you get mad at him for not showing up and meeting you and not loving you and not fucking you, it's like, well, you got to open a bit wider there, girlfriend. And one last thing I want to say here is a lot of women can come in this place of like, well, why doesn't he do X, Y, and Z? How come I have to do this work? And why is it that is coming from a very disempowered victim place? And our life is in our hands. And we do not want to put all of our power into our partner and be like, well, you need to make these changes and then I'll do X, Y, and Z. That is conditional power. Instead, it's no matter what, I am being the woman. I am, as a well-fucked wife, I am committed to my own nakedness. I'm committed to living a life that is open, where I'm naked and free in my sovereignty, in my truth, in my power, in my pleasure, where I am fully here in my sovereignty. I'm committed to that, and I don't need my man to do anything first before I step deeper into my truth. And that's personal power. That is self-leadership. And that's not saying your man doesn't have some things to do, but by you opening more and being more in the safety of yourself and activating more and no longer abandoning yourself, instead opening more and wide, he's got like the big bat signal knowing that it's like, okay, she's open, right? The neon sign says open. When you got the neon sign that says open, you have a lot more possibility that you're going to be met there because you're open sign. Keep your sign open, keep your body open, keep your heart open. Again, not if there's abuse, etc., narcissism, etc. That's a whole other conversation. That most wisely your body is shutting off to, and we need an exit plan. So I'm sending you so much love. Focus on the appreciation. And this even goes to your own masculine. How much are you micromanaging your own inner masculine? Saying it's not enough. Perfectionism. And instead appreciating how your inner masculine is showing up to love you, to support you, to take action, be there for you. Love and cherish and adore your own inner feminine, because it's all that inner union is a mirror to the external one that you have. And if you're wanting to go deeper into this, deeper into the well fucked wife frequency, I have House of Pleasure, which is my free community. Join that, come deeper into the vibes, come deeper, come closer. I'm inviting you closer. And if you're ready for deeper work, right now I have some delicious spots open for VIP days. I just opened these up again. So if you're interested in really diving deeper into shifting over your blueprint, allowing your identity to be solid in your well fucked wife identity, the well fucked wife frequency, and in one day becoming the woman and anchoring in to this new pattern, this new way of being that is the woman who is cherished and adored and loved and romanced and ravished and actually lets her man in. Because it's not just about having the man who will provide all of that. It's actually being the woman who is welcome to receive all of that, who's allowing herself to be fully penetrated, not just the tip. We are not here for just the tip energy. We want full penetration, and that's what we do in my world. So we can do that in a day. We can do that in over more long-term coaching, like in the Well Fucked Wives Club, my group mastermind. and really going deeper, even initiating these frequencies of naked living in the naked experience, learning how to stop abandoning yourself in all areas of your life, in health, wealth, love, and pleasure. Because if we want to be a healthy, wealthy, well-loved, and well-fucked wife, well, we got to get naked. And we got to get naked everywhere. Selective nakedness does not a well-fucked wife make. I'm sending you so much love. Go out, welcome in all the penetration, appreciate your men, and I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye for now.
That was delicious. Thank you so much for joining me in today's episode. I would love to invite you to come a little bit closer to drchelseapage.com, where you will find all the goodies for support, including my private coaching and the Well Fucked Wives Club. I will see you in the next episode.